What a great beginning to the show. That was awesome. That band's called Melt. Welcome to Acute Mania Live. It's kind of like a late edition, I guess, of the show tonight. But that's because it's already tomorrow in China, which is where Chris, Nick, and Logan are right now. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Nice to be on here.
I'm going to try to say the band name, Polyphozia. Did I get it right?
That's okay. We intended it to be Polyphozia, but we've heard it pronounced Polyphosia a lot of times.
Yeah, it's like the j, I guess, would be. I don't know.
It's actually cooler, to be honest, than Polyphosia, but it wasn't the initial idea.
Well, it works, I guess, either way. I don't know. It still sounds cool. But
Yeah.
I wanted to thank the Settlement for coming on the last show. I just saw them tonight. I went down to Music on Man, and they're from Huntington. They came up and they stopped here in Bridgeport to do a show at Music on Main, and then tomorrow they're playing in Morgantown at the. You probably didn't know Chris. Chris is actually he's been around Morgantown, but Black Burrito. Do you remember that place?
Oh, dude, I love Black Bear.
Well, it's not across from Pleasant Street anymore. Now that's the Art Bar, Morgantown Art Bar or Art Party. I don't know. It's one of the two. There's two of them. But that's.
Remember, there were two locations when I last lived in Morgantown.
Say again. What'd you say?
There was two Black Bear burritos.
Yeah, I think there's just one now, and I'm not up there enough to know where the other one is or where they moved to. I can't remember. Somebody told me, but I don't know. But yeah, that place is awesome. But they still exist. I just don't know. Right off where they are.
Good to know. I was afraid I would come back after this COVID nightmare and there'd be no Black Bear burritos for me.
Everything be closed, like everything that you love to be closed. Well, remember the Blue Moose, the coffee shop? It's still there. I mean, it hasn't gone anywhere, but it closed for a long time, and everything was opening up, and they didn't, and everybody's waiting, and they finally opened up. So
I tell you, the Blue Moose is the first place I ever sang a song on stage in my life.
What did you sing?
Just some original songs that I had written on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And I just went up there by myself and did their little open mic thing. And that was the first time I'd ever sang in front of people on stage. Yeah. Super nervous.
How'd it go?
Super scared. But
did it go really good? You did excellent and everything, and you got really good feedback?
Oh, no. People told me I shouldn't sing.
I went to an open mic last
terrible back then.
I went to an open mic last night up in Fairmont and up at Magic's, and there was a guy there that he'd never ever played in front of anybody. Like I walked in, and there was somebody else up there already, but it was quiet. The whole place was quiet. I'm like, what? Should I walk back out? What's happening here? But I guess the guy that was up there had sang one, and they were trying to get him to play a song on guitar and sing, and he did, and it was really good. But that was the first time he'd ever done it too. It's a weird feeling doing that because you don't want to do it. You know, you're as a person, you're just like, man, I really don't. You know, you're nervous, you're sweaty palms, and you know everything's gonna go wrong. But
It's like a fight or flight kind of situation too.
yeah, like that's what he said. He was like, I just wanted to get up and walk out, but he stayed up there and played. I think somebody paid him, so yeah, I would.
Money is good motivation.
Money's a
But
great.
yeah, once you get used to the feeling of being on stage, there's nothing quite like it. And I think all three of us, we love that feeling to be on stage
feed
and
off of it. I
playing
think.
our songs,
Yeah.
rocking out, and it's something very special.
One thing I was kind of disappointed about tonight, and I've been disappointed about it before, but it'd been a while. But you know, it's not really a new venue, but it kind of is. You know, and Bridgeport's not Morgantown. You know, I understand it. It's not Fairmont, but it's, you know, growing up around here, I always said, you know, there's never anything to do. You know, what am I going to do tonight? There's nothing to do. Well, now there is. You know, like I went skate. There was Skate World we had here, so everybody went roller skating. You know, and that was fun. But you know, like, and it's not there anymore. So like, what do? You go to the movies, okay? Yeah, go to the mall. All right. All that gets old. Well, this venue, like, it was empty tonight. There was like a few people, maybe 2 people there other than me, and it was disappointing, you know, especially for them. But I mean, they still put it on. It was a great show. I just couldn't believe that. Like, I mean, what are people? I know it's summertime. People want to be outside and, you know, barbecuing and stuff. But like, there's kids just driving their parents crazy somewhere because it's an all ages place. You know, anybody can come in.
Oh yeah.
So I think it'll pick up. It just you know. Maybe offer free pizza. Kids like free pizza, or you know,
something to get through to like the younger people, to bring them out to these shows and get them like
really. You know, I was like I don't know. You know, there's probably people like in their 30s and 40s. I mean, I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm in my 40s. But you know, it's I'm always looking for something to do other than be here. You know, I love my house. I love sitting out on the deck or having a fire at the fire pit or whatever. But you know, you just want to get out. You know, you want to get out and see a show. And like, yeah, I'll go to Morgantown, but like, why go to Morgantown when I can just go right here, 5 minutes down the road? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think our drummer can relate to that pretty well because he's actually like part owner of a venue here in Winzhou.
Winzhou, yeah, that's right. I was about to say pronounce the city again, but is it near like everybody knows like Beijing, I guess, right? So how far away would it be from?
It's pretty far from Beijing. How far?
2,000 kilometers.
About 2,000 kilometers from Beijing. I've actually never been to Beijing in my life.
How many in miles? Since we're
Yeah, that I've already forgotten how to do the conversions.
You don't have to do it anymore. The conversion anymore.
Yeah.
Did you know Chinese before you went over there?
Yeah, I studied Chinese in university for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then I came over here. Initially, it was just going to be a 2-year stint over here, like learning Chinese and getting more familiar with it. And then I was going to come back to America, maybe go to New York and start doing stuff with bands there. But I started this band and I'm in a few other bands as well. And I just enjoyed the life out here enough to stick around.
You don't want to come back here. You don't want to come back here.
I do eventually want to come back.
Yeah, eventually, yeah, just to visit and then go back. Right? So you have Logan and Nick with you. Those are your bandmates, and they're kind of iffy on their English, but I kind of want to learn some Chinese. So what are their names in Chinese? Or is it teachable?
Yeah, I'd say this. It's pretty short.
Yeah, it's pretty. Zhang Kai Chao. The first name Zhang.
John, like John, almost like John, right?
Yeah, it's almost like John. Yeah.
Similar to John.
Yeah,
John.
And Kai.
Yep.
And Chao. It's like French. Chao.
Italian.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Chao. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of Italians around here. You know that.
Italian. Sorry. It's Zhang Kai Chao. Yeah.
But it translates to Logan, right? Or does it translate, or
his English name is Nick.
Yeah.
This is Logan.
Yeah, that's Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you come up with Nick for your English name? I never asked you that.
Oh, it's just the same meaning. Nick means victory sometimes. Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Does Nick
maybe
mean Victor?
a little
I
bit?
didn't know that.
I don't know. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm learning.
Out there, victory.
Just my English teacher gave this name to me. Yeah.
That
When I
is
was very
interesting.
young. Yeah.
A lot of Chinese
Chinese
people
people,
get English
yeah.
names from their teachers, and they'll
Okay.
put a lot of emphasis on what the English name means.
Yeah.
So many of my students, when I was first here, like teaching English, they would ask me like, "Well, what does this name mean?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's a fucking name. Like, just just a name, something so I can not call you. You know,
That's
say
true.
something.
I mean, that's a lot easier.
But Logan here, actually, we kind of gave him his English name because it sounds similar to his Chinese name. His Chinese name is
龙月
Long Yue.
It does sound like Logan, yeah.
A little similar, so
Yeah.
we flipped that for him.
Does he like that you call him Logan though?
Yeah, long 的意思, long's meaning is dragon.
Ah.
Yeah.
So that's
we
like-
usually call him Brother Long now. We call him Long Ge. It means Brother Long, Brother Dragon.
Now, you said you were at a music shop. Whose music shop is it that you're at?
This guy, he's the businessman, the business front of everything
Nice.
in the band.
Yeah. So what all do you? Is it also a venue? I think you were getting ready to say that, Chris, before we.
Yeah. Well, right now he's got 3 spaces. He's got this place here. It's called, where we are now, it's called J Listen, and it's a music shop and a school where they do like private lessons. He teaches drums here, and he has another band called Bearland, and his guitar player is here teaching guitar right now.
Go get him right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, he's got this place, and then he's got another place open that also does some teaching and some instrument sales, but focusing more on like band practice. And it's also a little cafe kind of area.
That's awesome.
And then he's got a big venue in town that's just opening. They're doing their big opening show on the 2nd and the 3rd, and we're doing the after party. We're doing the after party.
Oh, you're not
for the
opener.
His other band's the opener.
Oh.
So we're sandwiching the show.
还有点小问题 because foreign.
Yeah, we could mention that. It's there is occasionally some problems with being a foreigner in a band in China.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. This may be something you hadn't considered, but like the Chinese government here is very sensitive about media and information.
Oh.
And so like they basically view like any opportunity one person has to stand in front of a large mass of people as like a potential threat to the party.
I don't have a large mass of viewers, so you have nothing to worry about.
No, I think we're probably in the clear here. But
yeah.
So
Actually,
with the shows and stuff. Go on.
I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's I don't know if you were. When were you around Morgantown? What year?
2011 until 2015.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. He was already gone, but he was in a band. He lives in Nashville now, but he was in a band called Patsy up there. He might have been around. I don't know. I can't remember when he went to Jersey and New York and then down in Nashville. But when I was telling him about it, I was like, I'm about to schedule a band in China, and he said, "Wow." He's like, it's hard to crack through to China, but I didn't know what he was talking about. I just kind of like, yeah, no, it's pretty cool. But that's probably what he was talking about. He's a pretty smart guy, so like that's probably what he was getting at, with cracking through to China, meaning what you're saying. I didn't know
like the
that.
firewall and stuff like YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff is blocked here. We have to use like VPNs to get onto it.
So it's hard to distribute outside of China. Then is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it gets getting harder and harder. Like when I first came here, Bandcamp was still allowed in China, and there were still a lot of artists from China like uploading to Bandcamp. And it's like serendipitous that like the biggest like music streaming platform here in China made a deal with Bandcamp, and then as soon as they made the deal and went public and they got that little bit of exposure, the Chinese government just cut them off just like that. So like if without a VPN you can't listen to Bandcamp music in China.
That's I don't know. I guess just different governments and permissions and things. But you would think that that's something that they'd want to celebrate, with the rest of the world. But I guess
that's what I would think. I've always hoped that by fostering these kind of relationships through social networking, social media, that China would be able to kind of export maybe a little bit of its soft power, a little bit of its culture that they have here that is quite interesting. But so much of it is just stuck in the mainland China bubble and never gets out to the West. Like nobody ever sees the cool bands and the like tattoo culture and like all the stuff that's here that people like never associate with it really.
I'm glad we got the food though. Gosh darn.
Yeah, at least got that.
Is the food anything like living there? From being here.
Oh,
I'm sure
that's
it's
a dangerous
completely
question,
different,
I
probably
think.
way better.
I think like American Chinese food. There's kind of like a reason they call it American Chinese food. It's some of the food there is like it's based on Chinese cuisine, but it's like tailored made to like suit American taste.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the way they view it, at least. So like there may be like I'd say like the most authentic stuff you could probably get at like an American Chinese restaurant would be like an egg fried rice, like an egg fried rice kind of dish, something like that.
With that. Yeah.
You can get that here, and it's about the same, except for it's way cheaper to get here.
Yeah.
But anything like some of my favorite stuff I would get in America, like tofu and broccoli, or like General Tso's kind of dishes. That stuff is non-existent here.
Really?
Like people think I'm really weird when I cook at home and I do stir fried like broccoli. They're like, that's strange to eat broccoli this way. So,
well, look, I want to play one of your songs. That way, they can kind of get an idea of what you guys are. I'll just do them in the order that you gave them to me. I love the album, the EP. It's phenomenal. And but the very first song is "Into the Sun," which is also a good song. I mean, every song is good on the album. Like I said, when I was listening to it mowing, because I listened to it before, but when I was listening to it mowing, when you listen to something on headphones, it's completely different than just listening to it like in a room.
Yeah.
You hear everything.
More focused.
Tell me a little bit about what Into the Sun's about, or pretty much what the EP's about, I guess.
Okay.
If you want to.
Yeah, the EP is called Music Television, and the concept behind
MTV,
it,
right?
yeah, like MTV. The concept behind it is basically like you're listening to a music program between all these like advertisements, and I'm trying to like with this concept, trying to like pull together the age that I grew up listening to music, like watching VH1, Fuse, MTV, and all that stuff. Fuse it with today's like media where you watch like 3 minutes of a video on YouTube and then there's an ad. And I kind of wanted to give it that feeling that every song is like bookended with these random ads cycling through and like all chopped up and kind of leaving you with just a tiny bit of information.
Yeah. And it is pretty much at the end of every song, and it's just you kind of. Well, I caught myself going like kind of skipping back and going like, okay, what are they saying? But it's just a bunch of randoms. You can't catch anything, it's just a bunch of random stuff. But that I think it's a cool concept because that's what it is. That's what it is nowadays. Even on the radio is just they'll play one song and then there's 5 minutes of ads.
Yeah, so many ads. So I wanted to give it that kind of feeling. Into the Sun is the opening track on that EP, and this song comes from a pretty special place actually, because it's a song that I wrote originally on acoustic guitar back in 2013.
You played at the Moose?
So long. No, I didn't play there. But I wrote it like right before I went to China for the first time, and I wrote it in kind of a little bit of a dark patch, and I was feeling kind of bummed out, and I had changed the strings on my acoustic guitar, and I broke the low E string. Like I broke the bridge pin that holds it in.
Oh yeah.
So like I only had 5 fucking strings. So like rather than just beat myself up over it, I just said, you know what? I'm going to use this as a challenge, and I'm going to write a song with only these 5 strings. And kind of like the hook was originally nothing can bring me down because January I'm leaving this town and going to Hong Kong. That was the original hook when I sang it, like the first time I played it. And then I changed it to Into the Sun because it's kind of a double meaning of like, the whole idea of like flying too close to the sun, getting too close to something you enjoy, and then it burning you out. Right. And then also like in Chinese, there's like the word Mingtian. It means tomorrow, and it's like this like bright day. And I think bright day is like it's like the sun, so it's like going into the future, but it's also the future could like fucking destroy you. So it's kind of like this
Very cool concept.
a really weavy kind of tale between being optimistic and really pessimistic.
Yeah. Let's take a listen to it. It's Into the Sun.
Okay, thanks.
Broke a bridge pin on my guitar tonight.
然后有一
I
点
guess I didn't do it right. But I gotta say, I can still play. If only these chords. So nothing can bring me down. 'Cause come January, I'm leaving this town and moving on into the sun. I lost my wallet just the other day. I had it in my pocket and I thought it was pretty safe. But somehow it fell out, so I did without it till I got home and I found it with all my shit still in it. So nothing can bring me down. January, I'm leaving this town, and now nothing can bring me down. Come January,
没有事，
I'm moving on.
这里面盖的有个应该。就来个5分。 对，这部分。
I broke everything but my guitar tonight. I was freaking out, afraid about my stupid life. But I gotta say that I can still play. If only these chords. So nothing can bring me down. So come January, I'm leaving this town, and no, nothing can bring me down. So come January. I'm moving on into the sun.
Should we listen to all the ads?
No, you can probably cut it off. But leave that for the full EP experience.
Yes, yes, you must have. I had to. I forgot to plug my computer in because this show is never flawless.
Yeah.
That's why I do it live, and I never edit anything. But
Fuck it.
it's I forgot to plug the power cord in because it drains a significant amount of battery.
Oh, yeah. I feel you on that.
So I had to get up and do that. I don't normally get up, but
It actually showed me on the screen like you plugging in the power cord.
did it really?
Yeah, I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, that's because my
I don't know why I
camera's up
didn't know
there.
that.
My camera's up there. I use
Oh.
my iPhone camera because it's significantly better than the Mac camera. I used to use my tablet camera and it's terrible too. I don't know. So instead of buying like a expensive webcam, I was like, well, I got a heck of a camera on my phone, you know. So
It's really incredible what the iPhones can do nowadays.
yeah, I mean, it's got like 3 lenses on it. It's the 13 or the Pro Max or whatever. What are you? Hey, I have a cat. And hey, what is that?
Your cat getting on the show.
Hey, well, he's all right. You can eat that. I think it's a piece of paper. I don't know. He's gonna eat it. Whatever.
It's got some codes on it, some missile codes.
Yeah. He never tells me any of those secrets. Those are his secrets. He was actually on the show. I had my buddy Brandon Hunt. He was on, and he came over here and played. And my cat, he didn't know it, but he was up on the couch. Like if I would pan the camera over, my couch is right there, and he was laying on the back of the couch. You could see him the entire time. He didn't know it, but he was on. I was trying to get him to jump up, but it's a cat. He'll do it if he wants to. If not, he's cool. Anyway, enough
How
about
cat.
that. What? You guys are getting ready to go on a tour. You were saying, right?
Yeah, we are.
What about that?
Just a month from now. It's coming up real fast. June 23rd to July 4th.
Do you have like a
we're
big
doing-
bus with a crew that runs all your lights for you and
not hardly. But it is a 3-band tour, so it's kind of unique in China. And I don't think a lot of bands tour with 3 acts. But we're all like
Who you got
3
joining you on your
relatively-
tour.
Well, there's a band from Changsha called Lost Inside. They only have an English name, Lost Inside, and they're like a post-punk, new wave kind of vibe.
Wow.
Real cool band. And then my other band that I have here in Wenzhou, so I'm playing double duty on this tour. I play drums in another band called Night Tides, and it's kind of in the dream pop, indie pop, post-punk something.
Yeah.
It's been getting heavier and heavier ever since I joined the band. But
what would you say that Polyphozia is your genre would be in this band?
ooh, I think
Genres are so hard anymore to even just
They are, yeah.
nail anything down. But what would you think that it would be?
right off the cuff, I feel like it comes off sounding like garage rock, a little like math rock, a little post-hardcore. But I feel like what I'm going for a lot of times with the songs is I want to bring like sort of an alternative metal vibe to the songs, because like that's where my inspiration really lies. Like I play 7-string guitar, he plays 5-string bass. We're
Nice.
detuning to G sharp. So it's like lower than a lot of Korn songs even. And like I grew up listening to Korn and Slipknot and like Nothing Face,
Yeah.
Incubus, stuff like that. So like that's where I'm kind of coming from that angle. But then when we put it all together, it feels like I get compared to Weezer all the time.
Oh, yeah,
And
it
I do
does
like
have a
Weezer.
vibe, yeah, a little bit.
I do really like Weezer, but I that was like something I found well into. I was already songwriting before I even really started listening to Weezer. But
Yeah, I do hear the Weezer vibe in that.
mhm.
Now that you mentioned that, I kind of was going for when I listen to bands, I always listen to the instrument first, and then the instrumentation, and see how well that's going together, and then I'm a crappy critic, I guess, but but I always listen to I want to hear an instrumental album first, and then I want to hear the vocals, because sometimes I don't know, that's just me, but
Well, you're a guitar player, I reckon. Eh?
well they're just decoration.
Oh, okay. John, so
I dabble on guitar, and I have a full drum set back in the other room, and
All right, all right.
I sing and stuff. This is all synths though. I don't know if you know.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
What is it? Is that the Brute?
That's the
What is
Mosley
that?
jam.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, our drummer's been getting into a bit of this modular synth stuff recently.
Get one of
I
these,
know.
and you won't want anything
Oh,
else. This
why?
it's kind of expensive, but gosh, it's worth it. I
Mm.
I love
What does it do?
it makes
sound-
noise. It makes a lot of cool noises.
Experimental.
No, my I have my own stuff up on SoundCloud. It's on my link tree if you want to look it up.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty much that thing, and then I have two Korg vocals. That one of them's the beats, and one of them's just a regular synth, and it's just those three machines pretty much, with like some delays and stuff. You know, I just dabble in things. You know, I get when there wasn't a venue in Bridgeport called Music on Main, that's what I would do.
I feel you on that.
I got to keep plugging for him. My goodness, I mean, I don't know why nobody goes down there. I mean, people do. I've seen metal shit. I've seen mosh pits down there, but it just seems like sometimes.
It really depends on the night. It depends on the
Yeah.
band. Sometimes the promotion. It's so many factors.
Exactly.
Like-
It's a very cool place. The owner went to Full Sail, so he knows what he's doing. He really does. The sound is always excellent in there. There's never, unless I just can't hear it. I've never heard any like squealing or the guitar sound or it's really good shit. And there's lights and fog and for Bridgeport, that's pretty.
Yeah, I was excited when you told me about it because eventually I want to get back to America, and I don't know if Polyphozia will get to America to tour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna bring them with you? You should bring them with you and play.
I'd love to. It's just a matter of like getting the visa situation squared
how
away.
How is that? I mean, I guess it'd be for any country, but how is that process?
Be honest, the States is not exactly like handing out tourist visas to Chinese people. Yeah, so
anybody. I don't think they are for anybody really. I mean, I don't know what.
Even before the pandemic, though, like
Really?
China's kind of like on the list of countries that are like notoriously difficult to get a tourist visa. Like you pretty much need to like kind of got to like stack your deck against the consulate to try to get one. Like a lot of people who have them, like for example, my old boss, he had a tourist visa for America. But why is because he studied abroad in the UK. He traveled South America. He traveled like around. So like he built up his kind of like his experience to show the government like, look, I'm not going to overstay. I just want to visit. And so they believe you more.
I mean, and it's weird. I don't even know why they'd be concerned about if you overstay because they're just letting people in the southern border now, from Mexico. So what's the difference? It makes it more diverse. That's what America is. I don't know. I don't want to get.
I'm not a fan of borders, to be honest. I don't think there should even be borders. Just fuck it.
I mean,
let people swim, man. Like let them move around.
Yeah, I understand control and stuff, but there's stuff going on in other countries that we can't even conceive, and people are just trying to escape that, and I don't know. I don't like to get into political discussions or anything other than music on the show, but it's it's interesting, because that's why I like to have guests on from other countries because we really don't know what's going on outside of the United States. I mean, other than what's on the news, and I mean, can't really believe half that stuff either,
Yeah, it's weird living here. It's like the news is kind of like the polar opposite is the way it works here. So it's like, like in America, if you're watching the news for any amount of time, you're going to hear the word China a few times.
Yeah.
In some way or some context it comes out. What's like the exact opposite here is like if I just walk by like a fucking fruit store and like the old uncle selling fruit, he's got a TV up there playing the news. I go in, I buy an apple, and I come out. And then that amount of time, I've heard the word Megwa like 3 times in the news. Right. That means America. Okay. So it's like, they're doing the total opposite of like the equal and opposite fighting fire with fire here. And it's just like a race to the bottom, I think, on like destroying both of our countries' reputations in the eyes of the normal people, which like when you meet like normal people here, like most people are really fucking friendly and like really open and really excited to meet people from other places and very welcoming. But then you do have those people who are like spoon-fed this narrative on the news, and like I'll get into a taxi or something and some taxi driver will be like, oh, you must be from America, and then like say some political shit, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to talk about that. Like
Yeah,
this,
yeah, it's
I
not.
just want to go where I'm going.
Just
I
trying to
don't
ride
really
somewhere.
care
Look
about that.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
It's not I don't have any fucking dog in the fight, to be honest. I have
yeah.
my opinions, but it's not like I'm trying
Right,
to
yeah,
share
you're not.
them with like a
You're just trying to
rando.
get somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
Is it?
But
I guess this question would be for more for Logan and Nick. Is it as crowded? I guess you know, because we see Beijing a lot, you know, or Hong Kong, you know. Is it as crowded everywhere in China, in the whole country, as it seems to be in those big cities? Or does that make sense?
yeah，你知道他的意思吗
crowd
？crowd 就是每个地方都有很多人，
people.
人山人海那种。
Maybe just some scene, some travel scene, you know, travel point.
Yeah, some places where it's popular
Yeah,
to travel
yeah.
to, it is like what you imagine.
Like
It's-
like tourist attractions and things.
There's an expression here called "ren shan ren hai."
People mountain, people sea.
Yeah, it means people mountain, people sea, and that's it's to describe that situation where there's like just so many fucking people that it's like a mountain or a sea of people.
I mean, I'm sure the you know that's one thing that you know you don't learn in like a textbook, or you don't learn it on the news or whatever, is what the rest of the country is like. You know, all we know is about the big cities, and like where you
Yeah.
go. If you were to travel there, where would you go? You would go to the tourist attractions. But you know,
Mhm.
like you know,
That's the first mistake.
yeah, and like the city that you're in, it sounds like it's just another, just like a Morgantown. You know, it's just another spot.
It is kind of like comparatively, it is like I've thought about that quite a lot, and I would say it is very similar to that because like the community here of musicians and the community of like maybe like other expats and stuff, it's very tight knit, and it's very like, oh, like I know Logan, and Logan knows this guy, and we've created this circle of people. Everyone knows each other, even though the city has like several million people in the population. But
Yeah.
the people who are doing these things that we're doing, like the music culture and stuff, is maybe the same amount of people that would be doing it in Morgantown. I mean, there are less local bands here in a city of like 2.5 million people than there
Really?
are in Morgantown. Yeah, for sure.
Now, if you didn't speak Chinese, would it be very, very difficult to communicate with anybody where you live over there?
For maybe for day-to-day stuff, it could be it could be quite annoying.
So there's
Just
not
to
a
have
lot
to
of
use a
English.
translator.
There's not a lot of like. Do you guys have to learn English when you're growing up, Logan and Nick? Do you have to learn English? Is it a part of your curriculum when you're growing up in school?
You mean?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
school.
we did. In primary school. Yeah, we
So
studied
it's not.
English.
So it's a big thing then, just like it is like in like the guys in Finland that I've had on. You know, they had to learn English. You know, that was. But it's not, even if it wasn't something they'd speak every day, it was part of their curriculum growing up that they'd had to. You know, and we don't have that in the States. You know, it's an option. You know, I learned French. When am I gonna ever use French? I can't say anything more than we. You know, I know what that means. I mean, I probably could have, you know, back in 7th grade, but you know, when am I ever going to use that? Unless I go to France. I don't have any plans to go to France. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know,
No,
Spanish, I guess.
I back when I was teaching English here, I'd always get into conversations with my students and tell them like I feel they're really lucky because they grow up in a place where they're like really pushed to learn 2 languages growing up.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel kind of in a way like of course it's really nice to be a native English speaker and there's a lot of privilege that comes along with that. But like I couldn't help but feel a little like when I realized I really wanted to learn Chinese, I couldn't help but feel a little bit like, oh man, like it's such a wonderful thing to know 2 languages, like to really be able to think in 2 different ways and consider like in that sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like
Yeah, well, yeah, because certain words mean the same thing, but they kind of don't. You know.
yeah, they have their own cultural ascribed meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's some things like I want to say in English to people, like my other English friends here, and I can't find a better word than the Chinese word for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's different. That is that's something that you never really think about it like that. But yeah, I guess yeah.
Like
Hey,
there's a I'll teach you this one.
Can you sing
Yeah.
Can you sing the entire album in Chinese, or the entire EP?
Oh, fuck
Could
no.
you couldn't. You couldn't.
But probably not.
Ah,
My Chinese is not that good. It's like it's all right, but like I'm not like at that literary level. But I will. I wrote this down as something to mention. Is that we are writing some new material for another EP, a following EP, and all of the songs on that EP are like English and Chinese mixed together. So I will be singing in Chinese,
so we're
but
gonna
I've
have
had
to
help
learn- have
from
to learn Chinese. I'm gonna have to
I've had
learn-
help from these dudes and also a lot of help from my wife, like kind of tweaking the lyrics so that they're because like when I come up with lyrics, if I try to come up with lyrics in Chinese, they're all like really simple words. And
They're
the
just
Chinese ears, it just sounds super cheesy and tacky. You know what I mean?
They're laughing at you like, "What are you doing? This is stupid."
Yeah. I mean, there's probably the songs are gonna maybe sound a little, I don't know, maybe a little childish to some of our Chinese fans. So
Yeah.
that's why we're doing an EP first, just to test the water. See if it helps like integrate us more in the Chinese music scene, or see if it like is a bad idea, and then maybe steer away from that with future material. But
Well, what's Can't Send about? I want to play Can't Send. I used that a couple times when I did Instagram posts, just because the musicianship and the instruments in that song are badass.
Thanks.
I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics. Like I said, what I listened to first when I listened to music. But what's it about?
Well, Can't Send is like a love song, to be honest, and it's a song about wanting to confess your love to it's from a boy's perspective. Confess your love to the person you're in love with, and you've written the message out. You're ready to say like, hey, I really fucking dig you, and this is something I'm serious about, but you're just hesitating to press the send button, and you can't send it. You just can't send this. You feel like it's too big to let that go. You're afraid to open up. So the song it's very much centered right in that very moment of like the inner struggle of trying to let yourself be vulnerable to that person you're interested in. I think that's.
It sounds easy, but it's not, right?
It sounds easy, but it's not. And I think in the music you can hear a lot of there are a lot of dissonant chords, and there's a lot of like push and pull, and I feel like it does describe the feeling of the song quite well, just with the instruments.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's take a listen to Can't Send. Here we go.
Living like a fire landing blue. He wants to tell you tonight, and hopes you're not let down. He wants to say it outright. Cause it's burning inside. That you're saying afraid of heights. Dying like a lion starved in Sioux. Feeling like a million miles from you. Oh.
可以。
But he can't make it sad. No, he can't make it send you his love. And he can't make it sad. No, he can't make it send you his love. And he can't make it sad. No, he can't make it send you his love.
Commercial break. It's almost like a house party style music. You know what I mean? Does that like I don't know.
House show, you mean? Or
Yeah.
like a house
party.
show? Or,
Yeah, like a
House
house
party.
show. Yeah, it's party music, you know. But I don't think there's any language barrier when it comes to music with you guys either. Like you guys are tight. It
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Hey, I hate to do like plugs and stuff, but I kind of have to because that's what this show's about. But
Okay.
I lost my list. I don't know what happened to my list of things because I'm especially busy this time of year because festivals are going on and I'm trying to catch bands when they have time off. It was so easy during the pandemic because nobody was doing anything and
Mm.
it was just it was easy to get bands on. Let's see, but tomorrow I have really nothing going on, so probably gonna mow the grass. So nothing to announce. But Sunday I'm going up to Pittsburgh to see Amplifiers. They were on the show a long time ago, back when I did this on Facebook. Without Zoom and without good sound, and I used to hold a phone to a microphone, and that's how I did the interview. It was horrible, but they were on.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I've been through it, all of it. But they're going to be playing with a band called Blissfields. They're from Toronto. They were on the show. I kind of hijacked these bands when they announced that they were playing, and then they announced who's going to play with them. I just hijacked all his bands, and I've had them all on but one. The one's going to be on June 2nd, which is Collinsworth. They'll be on June 2nd. But Blissfields is from Toronto. They're doing like a little kind of like a tour of the Northeast and the East Coast and stuff. They'll be playing, and Gloomer, which is a newer band out of Pittsburgh, and they've been on also. So that's Sunday. If you're in that area, it's in New Kensington actually. Area. It's east of Pittsburgh at Preserving Underground. So if you're in that area, come down to the show. You don't need a ticket. You pay at the door. I think it's like $10 for 4 badass bands, and I'll be there. I'll give you a sticker or a coaster, probably a coaster because I'm running low on stickers. Well, not really. No, I got some. I'll bring some stickers. I'll send you guys some stickers over to China. If you want.
Yeah, man. Be waiting for a couple months, but I'm excited to get them.
Yeah, I sent some over to Finland, and well, of course, Finland's really significantly close to Russia and stuff, so I don't think they've gotten theirs yet. But
We should do a little shout out too to
Go ahead, yeah.
our 100th Instagram follower, Herschel Hoover. He's got this band Herschel Hoover, and when he hit us up because he was our 100th. Actually, he hit us up, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of like a monumental occasion because like we're a band that doesn't even exist in America, and we managed to rack up 100 fans on Instagram. So I was like, you know what, dude, fuck it, we're gonna like whatever it takes. We're gonna send you a merch package.
Where's he
And
at?
so we sent. Fuck, I wish I could remember. I think I'm pretty sure he was near Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C. area, but I can't remember exactly the address off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But we sent him our tote bag and some stickers, and we sent our first album to him. But here's the crazy part: is like, because it was coming from China, like we couldn't send the actual disc of the music because they wouldn't let us send the media out of the country.
Man.
Before I was able to do that because I had another project and I'd sent some copies of the CD to my dad and my grandma, and that was no problem. But I guess some rules have changed since then, and I couldn't send the fucking CD to him, which was a bummer. But I still sent him the package for it.
Yeah.
Figured, sorry, you can get the MP3s and burn a disc to put it in there, but like I can't send it to you from here.
That's crazy.
But,
That's so crazy how things are like that.
He sent us some stuff though, and that somehow got through. Like I got a live album he recorded, and then like the Herschel Hoover self-titled album, and I got a nice cool like orange T-shirt from him, bright orange. So I wear that with my bright orange socks. And I do my carrot.
Hit by a car, or you'll be a construction worker or something at the same time.
I think of it as like a way I can peacock when I'm on stage. I can wear that giant orange shirt, and
everybody will be looking at you because you're the brightest one on stage. Yeah,
that's soaking up all the light.
If you talk to him, I would love to have him on the show too, or them.
Dude, yeah, I'll spin this over to him.
Instagram works in weird ways. I don't even know how I got in touch with you guys. Honestly, it's just one of those things. Just it's so difficult getting a hold of anyone on Facebook, and I mean I'm never on Facebook much anymore, but just to update the page and whatever, but in Messenger and stuff. But Instagram is just I love Instagram. It's I don't know. No, it's owned by Facebook. You would think that Facebook would be a little bit better, but I guess not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it works that way.
Yeah,
but
nothing works like.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like Instagram has a bit of a leg up on old Facebook.
Yeah, it does. It's cool. It's cooler. I think it's a lot cooler.
It's got a little scene still going on there.
Yeah,
I feel like Facebook's fizzling out. Just fizzling out from the fight guy.
A lot of bands and stuff like Instagram better. It's more user friendly than Facebook. I think. I've messaged more guests and potential guests on Instagram and gotten a response than I have on Messenger, like on Facebook Messenger. I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, nobody
weird stuff for like the page messaging and stuff, like how they really separate it out too much. I think like I don't know, the format doesn't feel as intuitive as it does on Instagram.
It had to have been like something with the Morgantown connection. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. With your
it must have been.
We have some followers there.
When I found you on Facebook, we had like 21 mutual friends already.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
West Virginia music scene is also tight knit. So
they are, yeah. We're I'm trying to think of the right word. We're our own breed. I don't know.
A family.
Family, yes. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's better.
We're gonna get incest jokes from that though, probably.
We'll get incest jokes even if we don't say anything about incest.
It just the word West Virginia, like probably related search result is inbreeding or something.
What was it? I had a band on called The Safety Meeting, and they're from Buffalo, and we were talking about I think I was talking about the guy I had on from Germany. We were talking about languages and stuff, and the one dude Julian, he's like, I can speak Portuguese. I was like, well, do it. I don't believe you. So he said something, but it was I speak Portuguese, and I picked it out, but I was like, what is that? I speak Portuguese? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, everybody can say that in any language because that's the very first thing that you learn. One of the first things you learn, that's easy. And I was like, well, do it in Pig Latin. And of course, it's like crickets, because silence, because you got to think about it, And I was like,
Yeah.
it should be very, very easy for you because you're so close to Canada. Everything ends in A. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
I said that joke to the guy to Blissfields in Toronto, and they didn't laugh.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man. That was like
Canadian stereotype.
But they were cool. I mean, that band's cool. I can't wait to meet those guys in person. But they did know they did know a fun fact about West Virginia that I didn't know. A band in Toronto knew a fun fact. I guess there's a McDonald's in West Virginia that still serves McDonald's pizza. You remember that when they had that?
What?
Yes, it was a very short run for McDonald's.
No, I've never heard of that in my life.
I had to look it up. Because I didn't even know. Like after he was on, or after they were on, it wasn't in Parkersburg, but it was in that general area, like a small town.
Shit.
Apparently, I don't know if they still do, but I mean, you would think that shit's got to get old. I mean, I don't care if it's frozen.
Like,
that shit gets old.
I grew up in Parkersburg as like a real young tater tot. I was like preschool in Parkersburg, but
I'll look it up. and let you
I
know.
feel like I would remember McDonald's pizza if that was an option at some point.
Yeah,
I remember a lot of Little Caesars pizza.
Yeah, it was an option at some point. I don't remember it either, like growing up. But when he mentioned that, I was like, okay, you know, because I think Hardee's had
My
hot dogs for a
my
long
pizza.
time.
No.
But I can't remember this. It was a really small town around that area. I'll look it up and let you know. But he knew that, and I didn't know that. And of course, he knew about country roads, John Denver country roads and stuff. So that's kind of our thing, I guess.
What do you think's the weirdest thing McDonald's sold in China? Or like, what do you think? Like,
Yeah, fast food menus are different.
What's that?
螺蛳粉 it's
I don't even know what that is.
很臭的一个东西
Very smelly. So,
smelly
McDonald's and smelly is not unusual.
Smellies.
Something
smelly
smelly.
Chinese traditional food
A Chinese traditional food,
and made in a hamburger
and they put it on a
yeah,
hamburger.
put on hamburger.
Okay, so they're doing some like fucking
It tastes-
experimental food out here.
yeah it's so
Yummy.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess because McDonald's menus everywhere are different than they are, even regionally, like in the United States, it's what they're trying in California for McDonald's is different than we probably won't see it for 5 years, especially in West
They got
Virginia.
some really
Behind
good
it.
ice cream flavors here, though.
What is it?
They got some really good ice cream flavors here.
I'm an ice cream fan, so give me some ice cream flavors that I would not.
And another tidbit is the ice cream machine is never fucking broken here. Never once.
Maybe
Never once.
Man, you would they need to learn something then. It's always broken. Yeah, always.
It's the same machine too. It's the same one. I watched Johnny Harris. He does those YouTube essays.
Yeah.
I watched his thing about like the McDonald's machine, and afterwards I was like, peeking behind the counter, like that's the same fucking machine. So there's something real deep going on there. I think
Well,
Johnny Harris is on something.
It's childish kids that work at those places that don't want to clean it. So if they don't use it all day, they're not gonna have to clean it. I mean, I worked in restaurants too, but I mean, it's gonna need cleaned at some point, whether you use it or not. You know what I mean? It's
Work ethic, right?
it's the kind of job it is, and I don't know. I don't want to run out of time, so I want to play. Lost
yeah.
Touch. Lost Touch.
Apple-
what is it?
Apple
about?
flavored ice cream, though.
Is it,
McDonald's.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I just wanted to get that out there.
No, it's
Apple flavored ice cream.
It's the apple flavored.
Yeah.
Not like cinnamon apple, because think of apple, it's like cinnamon apple or pork chops. I don't know why people put apple on their pork chops. I don't, but apple flavored ice cream.
Really good.
I don't know. It kind of almost sounds like a sherbet, because
Yeah, it's a similar vibe. A little sweeter.
a sherbet.
A sorbet.
A what?
Sorbet.
A sorbet. Or what is it? Rainbow sherbet and orange sherbet, and it screams like nursing home to me. Like rice pudding. Rice pudding doesn't have any rice in it, right? Am I wrong? Rice
I don't know.
pudding. Rice pudding. That's an American thing, I think. I don't even think it has anything to do with rice.
What is one?
Rice. Mi fan pudding.
No,
No, don't have that here.
No.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I think that's just I don't know what that is. No, the Finland guys. The one of the bass player is a chef, and we were talking about. I was trying to explain biscuits and gravy to them. Well, biscuits to them are cookies.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. You know, so I'm explaining to them, it's really really like heavy gravy, like country gravy, like really heavy thick gravy, and you just douse the whole biscuit and it's bacon and sausage or whatever you want, and they're all like looking at each other going, and I'm like, what? I was like, what happened? And they're like, then the one guy said, because he speaks a lot more English than they do, and he's like, yeah, it's cookies here. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, it's nothing to do with cookies. But then we kind of ran into that too when the settlement was on, because my guest co-host is from South London, and somebody in the chat asked about figgy pudding, and it's a lot of nuts and berries and stuff. It's just, pudding to us is like like Bill Cosby the Jell-O commercial, like chocolate pudding or what was it called?
Pudding pops.
Jell-O, huh?
Pudding pops.
Yeah, pudding pops. Yeah. We know what that is. But yeah, I don't think rice pudding is anything like that. I just they have a lot of that at like nursing homes. I've never gone to like a place where they say, "Oh yeah, and we're featuring our dessert tonight, rice pudding." Okay. I don't know. What is Lost Touch about? Is it about being in touch without being lost?
Lost Touch actually a really personal song. This one, like I had a dream, or I should say nightmare. I had a nightmare that my grandmother passed away, and I woke up feeling extremely guilty for having gone too long without like calling her. And this song is just about like how, I've been kind of stuck over here in China without being able to visit back to the States and just missing family and
have you not been able to come back? So you have to have a visa now that you're a resident over there, correct?
Yeah, I have a work visa. The problem is like if I go back, there's so much red tape to get back here that I might not feasibly be able to get back in time before like the school semester starts, and then like I need to do all this quarantine stuff on top of it, and the flights are extremely expensive. So it's like, do I go back now, or do I just keep waiting for the policy to change so that the flights will come down and the
has your family been able to visit you there since you've been there? Have they been able to
No, man, never. my family's like none of them have passports or anything. Like I'm kind of an anomaly in that sense. But I call them as often as I can, and yeah, this song is mainly about just the little bit of dread I have that one day I'm going to wake up to a Facebook message or something from my dad saying my grandma passed and I wasn't able to get back home to visit her one last time.
Yeah.
It's a real sad song.
Logan and Nick, do you guys are your families pretty tight over there? Like, is family pretty much the same thing as it is in the States? How we think of family. Like everybody gets together a lot and hangs out and stuff. Is it the same like that in I guess Chinese culture?
How often do you see your family?
Like 2 months, no, 2 weeks. Then I will back home and like family reunion like that.
Every other week or so. What about you?
My parents, my wife's mother, everything.
Mother-in-law.
Yeah.
My father, he come back. When he come back, I'm not at home. 就我都不在家。
Okay, well, he's a very busy man, so he wasn't
he's
not always home to see his extended family, but obviously see his wife and daughter every day.
Right. Awesome. Well, let's take a listen to Lost Touch.
Yeah.
Never done much to check Covered in grains, gravity acts fast on glass. It's all too late, and I lose you. When I lose you.
I love it. I think it's terrific.
Thanks, dude.
The panning from back the speakers at the end of that is awesome. You know,
Thanks,
you
man.
can't get that. You can't get that on a speaker. But that's how I usually listen to stuff.
And the EP was also like totally a production done by ourselves as well. Like
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you if you went to a studio or did you do that like on a DAW?
we tracked the drums together, him and I. Like
Yeah.
we did it with no click track either. I just plugged the guitar straight into some headphones, and we just went through the songs like 2 times, pieced a few pieces together, like make sure the performance was where we wanted it, and then we used his drums as the click track. So there were some parts like where there were pauses in the songs where we had to like overdub and record like some actual drumstick clicks so we'd be able to follow it later.
Yeah.
And then, I recorded all the guitars. He came to my rehearsal studio and I recorded his bass. I did the mixing. And then in the end, the last step, we sent it out to our buddy in Tennessee. And I think he is in Nashville, Justin Francis. He's a mastering and mixing engineer. And he did the final master for it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty well in-house production though.
Yeah, it sounds great. It really does. It sounds phenomenal. I love it, and I look forward to hearing some more from you.
We're really excited about the new tunes. We have 4 new songs already ready for the EP that we want to do next. It's probably going to be another 5-track one, but
you have a window of when it might be released.
Ooh, well, we've got this tour we're going to do first, and the tour finishes July 5th, and then we'll probably get back to Winjo and start working on it. That'll be the next step.
I look forward to it. You got to come back on. Definitely come back on, and we'll talk about that one too. And
For sure. And
tour and all that stuff. Let me know how the tour goes, regardless. You know.
Yeah.
And
we'll keep in touch.
Best wishes.
Don't lose touch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the government cannot keep us from being in touch with each other ever.
Yeah. Just got to make a little more effort. It's not as
if you
convenient.
guys have like 5 minutes after I kill the stream here, I'll talk to you just for briefly for a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm gonna end the show with Cassius at Best. They're a
Okay.
phenomenal band. They're a West Virginia band also, and
Cool.
they're the shit. Hopefully, get them on pretty soon. They actually, when I tagged them, they shared it to their story. I just looked a little bit ago, so hopefully get them on if they're listening. I'm gonna change the marquee to Marshall Lowry. He's gonna be on the next show, which is next Friday. I'm gonna go up to Magic's Bar and Grill and talk to the owner Bob Boyer a little bit, and Marshall Lowry is gonna be playing that night. Him and his band, and then they're gonna go set off on a tour. On the East Coast or some shit. I don't know where they're going. But actually, I just saw him last night. Talked to him last night, and so that'll be a fun show. So tune in next Friday. I'm going to be kind of out of the loop a little bit, but I'm going to probably sleep all day tomorrow, and then Sunday. I'm gonna be
Sorry
in
to keep you up so late, by the way.
Sunday I'll be in Pittsburgh to see Amplifiers, Gloomer, Blissfields, and Collinsworth. And Collinsworth will be on the show on June 2nd. So I got a lot of shit going on. I love it. But thanks, guys, so much for being on the show. I look forward to hearing back from you pretty soon. And this is Cassie's at Best with Hornets.
Yeah.